So, let's see how she develops this thought. How was Jonathan a fine example of humility?
Oh, hi, Chinsa. You're usually eating lunch at this time, and you don't look too good. Is everything okay?
Well, girl, you know the position I applied for? Well, they gave it to Miss Young thing over there, the one that's only been working here for 6 months compared to my 10 years. It's just not fair. I'm going to quit. I have my letter right here.
Well, Chinsa, before you do things so hastily, do you remember a while back in our Watchtower study about the example Jonathan set with his humility towards David?
A little bit.
Well, I think I have an extra Bible and dictionary in my locker. I'd like to show you a scripture at 1 Samuel 23, 16 through 18.
You want me to read that?
I'll read that.
Okay.
It says, Jonathan the son of Saul now rose up and went to David at Horesh, that he might strengthen his hand in regard to God. And he went on to say to him, Do not be afraid, for the hand of Saul my father will not find you, and you yourself will be king over Israel, and I myself shall become second to you. And Saul my father also has knowledge to that effect. Then the two of them concluded a covenant before Jehovah, and David kept dwelling in Horesh, and Jonathan himself went to his home. Now, Janisa, from that reading, did anything stand out to you in those verses?
Well, a little, but what does that have to do with my situation?
Well, remember, we also learned in the Watchtower that although Jonathan was in line to become king, Jehovah chose David instead. Do you see that attitude Jonathan had in verse 17?
Well, Jonathan reassured David that he would become king and that Jonathan would be second to him.
Yes, and by this we see great humility on Jonathan's part. Let's elaborate more on the word humility from the dictionary standpoint. Can you read that, please?
Sure. It means to show submissive respect, not arrogance.
Thank you for reading that. Well, after you read that, how can you show such respect to this younger girl?
Well, I guess I can show respect by not becoming envious or jealous, but instead I can learn from Jonathan's example in humility.
I like that. And did you know that by his example of humility, he was able to bring himself and David a strong relationship? Not saying you have to have a strong friendship with the girl, but just saying that you can have less stress on your hands. So from all that we discussed, how do you feel about leaving your job?
You know, I really should reconsider quitting, because after all, Jonathan was humble as to accept David as future king, even though there is a 30 years age difference, and even though Jonathan was in line to be king, so why can't I show humility?
I'm glad to hear that, Janisa. So what have you decided?
Well, I'm going to keep my job, and I'm going to follow Jonathan's example of humility by respecting the girl's position, even though she's younger than me. Besides, I need to pay bills.
Great. I'll see you Saturday first.
Okay.